Hello everyone, this is Ishan Javesha and welcome to Zinteractive. Our first video is about Maya 2020. So we will cover the essential course for complete Maya 2020 and it will be a pretty long course. There will be a lot of videos. So why Maya 2020? Maya is basically a very versatile software and a lot of professionals uses this because if it's user-friendly interface and which is pretty much straightforward. A lot of great movies have been made using Maya. For example, Wreck-It Ralph, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Frozen, also Academy Award movies such as The Hobbit and Snow White and the Huntsman also used Maya. Mastering Maya will certainly increase your chances of getting a job in the market. So guys, let's jump into Maya 2020 and learn all the essentials. So let's move to Autodesk Maya. So whenever you will start Maya, you will notice that two windows open with the Maya. The first window itself is the Maya. You will see the startup screen, you will see the splash screen, and the other screen you will see over here is the output. Now what is the output window? Output window is basically a logging window which creates logs, stores logs. So you don't have to pretty much worry about it. So just keep it open just in case if you want to see what are the scripts you are using. If there is any error, it will show over here. So it will it kind of keep on giving you a lot of more like different kind of information. So let's start with the Maya and let's start with the overview. So whenever you will open the Maya, you will see a window just like this, or maybe a little bit different. So Maya, let's divide the interface of Maya into different pieces. So you will see here on the top, you will see the top menu basically. So what is the top menu? It's the main menu where you will see how to open the file, where to save the file, and a lot of different kind of things. You will see edit menus. Usually edit menu contains copy, paste, and different kind of other things. And then you have create options where you can create different kind of like objects or cameras or lighting. You have select menu, modify, display, windows, and then so on. So basically these first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are the common menus. Rest of them are basically menus that depends on the choice that you have on your screen. Right now I'm working on modeling, so right after Windows all the other menus are related to modeling. If I will move to rigging, so just notice how it changes. If I click on rigging, you will see that after the Windows everything changes. So now everything after the Windows is related to the rigging. Just like that, if I will move to animation, so it will go to the animation. So basically, the one which is on the bottom where I was changing this modeling and animation, this is basically what this is: menu selection mode. Like what kind of menu you want to select. If you are doing modeling, yeah, like if you are trying to make something in Maya, so that is about the modeling. We will get into modeling in deeper in the next classes. Okay, rigging for like character rigging, animation. When we move to animation, you will see about the animation, effects, rendering, and you can add more over here. Okay. After that, you have these shortcuts over here. Basically, you can find these on the top menus here, but these are very common ones. These are the common ones. That's why they are given here as a shortcut. So you don't have to keep on going on the top and back and forth. So you have these shortcuts over here. So quickly you can go through these. Okay. Here you will see some kind of separators. You will notice there is a separator just like this or just like this. This separator means that the menu here is shown. If I click over here, you will see that it is been hiding, it's about the menu which is like the later on. So if I will click over here, it hides the menu, okay, or it shows the menu, okay. So if you will see over here, this means the menu just is which is after this one is hidden. So if I click on it, it shows. Okay, so it shows objects and everything here. If I click on it back, it's hidden. Now, same thing here. This is showing. Okay, if I click on it, it hides. If I click it again, it shows. So basically, Maya's interface is like you're going to see everything at the same time. So that's why you have these kind of like kind of capabilities that whatever you want to see, you can see, and if you don't want to see, you can hide it so that your interface stays nice and clean. Okay. Now, other than that, below this, you have option specific menu. Like suppose if I'm working on curves or surfaces, if I go to these tabs, you will see this everything related to curves and surfaces. This is basically called shelf. Okay, so you can edit them, you can change them, you can remove them. Okay, so you have like a kind of setting over here, so you can go to the modify setting, you can like make a new shelf, you can delete a shelf. Okay, and you can do so many other kind of things over here. Next to it, you have the poly modeling, then you have sculpting. So everything is basically option related. These shelves are basically, if you're doing sculpting, everything will be in the sculpting shelf. If you're doing rigging, so basically these are also shortcuts. Okay, so to make your work more easier. Okay, so this is how it works. Now, on your left side here, there are some common like tools. The first tool is basically like select tool. If you want to select anything on this on the screen, so you have this like select tool here. Okay, you can select like with the lasso tool, just like in Photoshop. Okay, or you can paint over objects, and whatever you will paint over, it will get selected. Then you have move tool, you have rotation tool, you have scale tool. All of these we will do in detail. Just right now I'm just giving you a gist of it, like what it is, but in like later on in the other videos we will work on these in details. Okay, here is your outliner. Outliner is basically, if you have worked on Photoshop, Photoshop basically is a 2D application. So you do 2D kind of like editing and everything. So you have layers over there, but you don't see usually objects, because your outliner and your layers are same in the Photoshop. But in Maya, your layers are different, your outliners are different. Outliner is whatever objects you import or create, it shows in the outliner. Suppose I have 100 of the 100 of objects on my screen. So all those 100 will be shown over here. So I can organize them nicely. So I can delete them, use them, edit them from here. Okay. So this is basically like whatever objects you have on the screen. So this is basically the outliner here. Now, here on your extreme right side, you have other objects, like you will see over here. You have channel boxes, you have modeling toolkit, you have attribute editor. Okay, on the bottom, basically this is for the animation. This is like a time slider. So you have a timeline over here. Okay, then you have different menus for the timing, and you have other menus here. So don't worry about all these, because we will be working on these in detail. So don't worry if you're not understanding what's going on and what are these. So in detail we will go through each of this one by one in our next classes. Okay, now first we will see here, which is the main thing, is your viewport. So this is the viewport, which I will like tell you in detail right now for the first. Whatever you create in the viewport. It's like the document window in Photoshop. It's like the artboard in Illustrator. Same thing you have here in the viewport in Maya. And in any other 3D application, like in 3D Studio Max, you have Blender, you have Cinema 4D, whatever 3D application you have, you will always see a viewport just like this one. Okay, now this is by default. When you will see like a viewport, you will see a perspective viewport. Perspective is basically the view that you want to see. Okay, and pretty much this is the one that you can render. So this will be the most probably the one that you will render. Okay, and this can be used as a camera also. Okay, now there is not only one viewport over here. Right now you can see only one, which is perspective. Here you can see certain perspective. Okay, so if you will see on your left side, there are some menus over here on the bottom. So here are the menus for the viewport. Now the first one is the one that we are right now working on, which is a single viewport. So you can see a single viewport, and we are looking at the perspective one. Then here you have panel layout, which is 4 viewports. So if I will click over here, you will see that I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 viewports. This is the same one, perspective viewport. Okay, this is the top viewport, and this is the front, and this is the side. Okay, so let me open a file over here, and you can find the same file in the description below. You can download like when you will click on it, I will upload that. It's a very simple file. Okay, so what you will see is that like a box with some kind of different more like objects, like primitives over here. So objects, primitives are 2 different names. Okay, but they are the same things. So here you will see that. So if I will go to the my 4 viewports, you will see the same thing in the perspective. Okay, and you can see the same thing in the top viewport. This is like someone holding a camera, and he's directing over this scene from the top. Okay, now you have here the front viewport. Okay, and the side viewport, left or right side. Now front and side kind of look like same, but if you will notice that the width of the front is more than the width of the side, because this width over here is the one that you are looking from the front right now. Okay, and the side, why this is smaller? Because this is the side view which you are looking at. Okay, now why do we have these 4 viewports? Because the reason is that it's a 3D application, it's not a 2D application. So you have to see everything from all the sides whenever you are working on, so you can work on the projects. Now I can have a 2 viewports also. I can click over here and I can have a 2 viewport. Okay, and I can have this outliner closed or open, so you can see the outliner gets closed and open. Okay, now let's talk about how you can, let's go to the single viewport again, and let's see how to navigate this. Okay, because if I click on the screen and try to do something, okay, so I can just only make a mark you selection, nothing else I can do over here. Or I can click on these items, okay, and nothing else. They are just selecting, but I cannot do anything over here. Okay, so right now, because I just clicked on it, they all are selected. So let me deselect them by clicking anywhere in the gray area. Okay, or the deselection you can do from here. Okay, and you can choose the deselect option. Now, how to navigate this? There are different kind of ways to navigate. First of all, the first thing is the orbiting. Orbiting means to see any object from all around. So to orbit, you have to press Alt on your keyboard. Okay, Alt. When you press that, then you left click on your screen. Okay, and then you will see that if you drag your mouse, you will be able to orbit around. Just notice how the cursor is changed. The cursor is changed something like this. Okay, that means you are in the orbiting mode. So this is how you can orbit around. Alt key, left mouse button. Other than this, if you want to zoom in and zoom out, so you have to do the same Alt button, but this time you will press the right button of the mouse, the right click, and drag up and down, and you can see you are zooming in and out, and notice how the cursor changed. Okay, so this is pretty much what you usually do in the navigation. You orbit around, you zoom in and zoom out. Okay, other than that, if you want to pan around, panning means like to view to move the like the camera, not the object itself, just the view. Like just your viewport if you want to move around. So same Alt key and middle mouse button. Now this is very important. Maya can be installed on Apple Macintosh. Okay, but usually Macintosh comes with a mouse with 2 clicks or with 2 buttons, but Maya and any other 3D application requires a 3-button mouse. So if you're using Mac, so try to buy a 3-button mouse so that you can easily work on it. Okay. Now, to pan around, you have to click the Alt button, and this time I will press the middle mouse button, and notice that how the cursor changed. Now, if I will drag, you can see the view is moving. Okay, so it's not moving the object, it's moving the view. Other than what I can do here is that without clicking or pressing Alt key, I can move my mouse wheel up and down, and you can see it is zooming in and zooming out. Okay, so this is basically how you can view around your objects. Okay, just like that. Now, one thing we will see here is that we can change the interface of our Maya window. Okay, to change the interface, we can go to Window. Okay, and in the window we have Setting Preferences. Okay, and in the Setting Preferences we have Preferences. Once we will go here, we will see a lot of different preferences. But if you want to change only interface, you will see that there is the interface option over here. Okay, so in the interface right now we are in the modeling. So as I told you before, we can change from here. So as soon you will change from here or here, you will get the menu changed all over, like especially after the windows. Like suppose I'm in the modeling right now. If I'll go to animation, just notice what happens here. Everything changes later on after the windows. Okay, so this is how I can change like the menu set. Okay, now there are so many other things that you don't want to use. Like suppose I'm very expert and I don't use the main window, so I can uncheck the main window and it goes, because I already know what are the shortcuts. I remember the shortcuts, so I can remove the main window, but I can click it back to bring it back on the screen. Now in panels, you can see like this is our panel. Okay, this is our viewport panel, so I can remove these as well if I don't want to see. Okay, or I want to keep it. Panel toolbar, I can delete and do whatever I want. Okay, and script editor, which is basically I think somewhere in the down, I cannot see where it is, but it should be somewhere here. Okay, now we have remember size and position. What is remember size and position? Usually what happens is that if I change something, like suppose if I make this a little bit smaller, okay, from here a little bit smaller as well. Now next time if I will open Maya, it remembers my size over here because I made it smaller, so it will stay smaller. If I will make it bigger, it will stay bigger unless I make it smaller again. So this is how it has happened over here. Okay, remember size and position. And I can position means like I can move around these. Like suppose if I will take this outliner, I can click on this outliner, or I can click on these dotted line for the tools, click it and drag it, and can move anywhere. Like suppose I can move it here. Okay, so next time when I will open Maya, it will stay here. Okay, so but I don't want it, I want to keep it here. Okay, let me move back to this side. Okay, no, it's bent down. Okay, so yeah, it's fine, like even down it is fine. I think this will save my like pretty much kind of space here. Okay, but I can move it and move around, or I can like wherever I want, I can move them. Okay, so this is basically what you can do. And after that we have here expression editor and so many other things. I don't want to see the expression editor, it is somewhere down here. Okay, so I can uncheck, unhide that. Okay, and so many other things that you want to change. Like suppose if I want to zoom in and zoom out, as I told you before, I can use my mouse wheel. Okay, so I can enable or disable that. So now I can, if I'm trying to do that, I cannot do it. Okay, multi-touch like gestures, I think if you're using a touch screen or something, it's for that. because it says device, so I think it's kind of related to that. So this is how you can change from either here or here. It's fine. Okay, now I'll just press cancel here. Now here we have another option, which is the workspace. Now what does the workspace basically do? Right now I'm in the Maya classic workspace. Okay, so that means which is like the default one. Other thing that we have here is the modeling standard. So if I click on the modeling standard, just notice how things are changed. Okay, because everything you see on the screen is related to polygonal modeling or any kind of modeling here. If I will go to modeling expert, so you will see that I have only one like pretty much only a viewport, and the rest of the other things are gone, because usually expert remembers the hotkeys and everything, so that's why you will see like not so many things are there. So if I go to sculpting, or if I will go to any other option here, okay, so I can change like related to that, like post sculpting, I can get something like this. If I can go to UV editing, I will get something like this. Okay, so I'll go back to the Maya Classic. Okay, so just what you can do is that if anything happens wrong, if you notice like it became like quite wider my screen, so what I did was that I went to the workspace and I pressed the reset current workspace. So what it does is that it brings back everything to the factory reset, as it's called, like or like reset to the default. Okay, now there are these menus here all over the place. Now there are two different other kinds of menus here. One is basically like a marking menus, another is the hotbox. Okay, so what are these? If I press on the keyboard like a space bar and keep it pressed, you will notice that I will get some kind of menus over here. Okay, so these are the hotbox. Hotbox is what? It's like a same menu that you see on the screen, but it's like a shortcut. Like everything is given on you on the screen, so you don't have to go back and forth. So you just have to keep it pressed and keep on working. Keep it pressed, keep on working, keep it pressed. So that's how, if you will notice that a lot of different Maya modelers or designers, they keep on going back and forth to this hotbox, and you will see that like they are kind of keep on doing like stuff like this, which means like they are very expert and they know how to like move that. Basically what it is, if you will see over here in the beginning, you will see the file, which is from here, same thing, edit, you will see. Okay, keep your menu pressed, okay, with your mouse, and you will see pretty much it's the same thing as like that you have on the top. Okay, view, shading, light, and everything that you see over here on the panels, because you have the panel menu as well. Okay, so in detail we will go when we will move to the panels. Okay, we have reset commands. Okay, like recent commands means whatever you have done so far. So I just have opened the scene, so that means this is my recent command. Okay, so whatever recent commands you have, you will see here. Then you have like Maya like different options, like suppose if I want to go to top viewport, I can go to the top viewport right now. I can go to the perspective viewport, I can go to the right viewport, I can go to the front, and I can go back to the perspective viewport, so that I can get to. Then I can control these hotbox, whatever I want to see, whatever I don't want to see, so I can control from here. Okay, so this is basically what it is, and yeah, that's all. So I can press show all or show only modeling options. I can do from here like control. So right now I'm in the modeling, so everything related to modeling is showing. So if I want to see everything or hide all or show all, I can click over here and I can see everything right here. Other than that, the other menu is basically, which is the marking menus. What are the marking menus? It's like, it's kind of a radial menu. So if I click on any object, right click on it, like suppose this one, I can see the menus related to the box. Okay, all these radial, and then the marking menus here. Okay, like if I want to make it bigger, if I want to make it smaller, so I can go to or if I want to do some actions on it or paint on it, everything is given over here. Okay, so these are like different ways you can like navigate in Maya or access the menus in the Maya. Okay, now the really important thing is how you save the file in Maya. Unlike any other software, it's not that same as in Photoshop or in Illustrator that you right away go and save the file in the folder. Here it can be done simply, but the highly recommended thing is that you set the project first. Now, what is the setting the project? Usually whenever you make any file in Maya, it have a lot of things. It have effects, it have lights, it have textures, materials on it, and they all are saved in a specific different folder. Okay, scripts, hair, if you're making hairs, or if you're making lights or textures. So basically what you need is that you need a specific folder on your screen, and that folder should be your project folder. All your files have to be inside that folder. So once you set a project, you select a folder, and that folder becomes your project folder. Now, next time, if you will apply any texture on any object here, the texture will be automatically saved inside that folder. Or if you're saving the file, automatically the file will be saved inside that folder. All the saving will be restricted to that folder. So if you want to take the file to your friend, so you will just copy that folder and take the whole folder to your friend. Or if you want to send it to like a production group or a team you're working with, so you can do that. So it makes your life more easier. Okay, if you're not setting up a like a folder, or you're just saving randomly anywhere, suppose you are saving somewhere and you just take your Maya file, which is .mb file, and when you take that file to somewhere else and you open the file, so maybe you will only see the objects, you will not see the textures on it, because you only saved the Maya file, you didn't save the texture files. You didn't save the lights, like texture, you didn't save the environment, hair, or anything, and you will not see that. That's why it's highly recommended you make a folder and you set that folder as a project, the whole project. Otherwise, what will happen? You will not be able to save it correctly. Things will be broken, links will be broken. Okay, so how we do that? First of all, how we save a normal file. So to save a normal file, which is only recommended if you're doing only a simple object. Okay, if you're not doing a whole big project, if you're doing a small project which is like something without any texture, without any light, with just a model, so it's fine. You can go to file, you can save scene as, okay, and you can choose your like folder wherever you want. You can type and you will see that it will be saved as a MB. Now there are two different extensions in Maya. One is MB, which is Maya binary, and one is MA, which is Maya ASCII. Okay, so they are basically saved in two different file formats. One is based on the binary, which is 0, 1, and then other one is the ASCII. Okay, so the two files are for two different reasons. I really actually do not know the real reason behind that, or real motive behind that. Why do we have MA and MB? But I think pretty much it's this is because of like two different file extension, and they're more like capabilities or abilities what they can do. Okay, so when you save the files, you have some different options over here. Okay, like suppose you can write your name of the file here, choose the folder. You can choose the folder from here, or you can navigate from here. You have general options, default file extension. Okay, so default file extension is the binary one. 3D paint texture options. Okay, so unless referenced or always, like if you want to have the 3D painted like texture on your file, so it will be saved with it. So in later classes we will go into it in detail. Okay, this cache options, you will keep all these like basically as it is. You don't change a lot. Okay, like these are some specific things, and if you want to save a thumbnail, so you can also make a thumbnail or something. So like, but usually I recommend it keep everything as it is. You don't change anything. Okay, so this is how you can save a normal file and then save as. But if you want to create a project, I recommend you do this. Okay, what it is basically, how you do that, you can first of all you have to make a folder on your computer, okay, or if you have an existing folder, so you can go. Okay, so how you set up the project? To set up the project, you go to the file, okay, set the project. Okay, now to set the project, you need a folder. Now you can select any folder, okay, or you can create a folder. So suppose I don't have a folder, I can simply go here. I can create a folder. I can write here my new file or something, whatever you want to write the name. Once it is done, you can select this and you can press set. As soon you will set it, it will become your project. So it will ask you some question like, this location does not contain a project definition file, okay, workspace.ml, because this is just a new folder that you have selected. So you have, please select one of the following options. So select another location or create default workspace. So you just press the create default workspace. So what will happen? That folder will become your like default workspace. Okay. So yeah, that's all. This is how you save the file. This is how you make a like a folder. You set your project. Okay, so this is really important how you do that. I set up the project after making the like these objects, or like because like this was already saved in some other folder. So after that I saved it, but it's not recommended to save it after it. So the first thing you do is to set up a project, then you start working on your like project, because it was already there. So that's why I had to show you. So that's so like the reason you got that message was because I was saving it from another file. Okay, but usually when you do the first time, so you will not get that message. Okay, and then you start working on your project rather than already you have it. You can do that too, but it's highly recommended you do it in the beginning. Okay, so this is pretty much about the overview of Maya. Now, in the next part of this bit, like basic tutorials of Maya, we will move to the manipulation. And stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel, okay, and you can see the link like given the more like description below, and you can download the files from the description, and you can go to my website, and keep following Zinteractive and stay tuned for the other parts of this course. Okay, thank you. Bye guys.